Tami Light, MSSW, and super busy.
So what inspired you to get into the mental health field?
Well, my family is pretty riddled with trauma and mental illness, and then through my growth and development, I was exposed to some awesome social workers. Had an aunt that was a social worker, and my mom was a teacher, and I just wanted to go into the helping profession.
Yeah, can you tell me about your work with ThriveWorks?
Sure. So we see clients through all walks of life, children through adults. I offer private talk therapy, and I use lots of different modalities to help people sort of achieve their optimal happiness and sort of acceptance of what is.
Yeah, what are some of your methods?
So we use a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy. That's the number one therapy. I personally like to use somatic therapy, which is a way to sort of get stored trauma and tension out of the body, which is the extra step after sort of using the cognitive tools. And most importantly, a solution-focused therapist model, which is where we're sort of gathering information from the past that's necessary to understand what we're dealing with, but then using a solution-focused approach to draw on our strengths and move forward.
And I live with bipolar disorder too, and seeing a therapist at first was a little nerve-wracking because all this was new to me. How important is it for you to make sure your clients feel comfortable when they're coming to you for the first time?
Oh, that's of utmost importance. One of the most important things is developing that rapport, providing a safe place of non-judgment or stigma, providing the psychoeducation to help clients understand, but really developing that rapport of a trusting working relationship, especially so your clients can reach out in times of crisis.
And I saw on the website you have clients from 14 to 65. Have you seen younger people more open to talk about their feelings?
Absolutely. Yeah, I actually just took an 8-year-old last week, so now I've moved younger. And yes, this is, ever since COVID hit, we are seeing an increase in mental health symptoms, especially with our youngsters. Luckily, we're in a culture where families are promoting getting our youngsters help so that they can help process through these hormone changes and systemic changes.
That brings me to a good point because when you're younger and all that, you need a strong support system. How important is it for the parents or family members to understand what someone's going through?
It's absolutely important. One of the most important parts of therapy is really understanding what our perception is through our own lens, but also with family therapy and couples therapy, understanding the need to recognize every person's perception as different as it is from our own, because until we can kind of use that lens to see somebody's experience through their perception or lens, we're not going to really know how we can affect change or help.
Have you seen your clients' confidence level rise as they go through the process?
That's the ideal hope. Yes, it's really, what I tell my clients is I offer tools. Every therapist has our own set of tools in our toolbox. We're going to give you all of our tools, and our client's job is to figure out what tools work for them and develop that confidence in using them, and then throwing back the ones that don't so we can try again.
And for me, I was diagnosed when I was 37 years old, so I was much older. So how is it talking to older people? Because there was a lot more stigma around than there is now, at least a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's a really good question because diagnoses can be hard. And part of therapy is offering a diagnosis. We can't see clients without it. So I believe it's very important to start where your client is and to be open and communicative about what we're seeing, what we're looking for, and be talking about diagnosis together even from the first session so that clients can have a good understanding of what we're looking at, the reason. What's the reason for the diagnosis is to get the resources and interventions that help. It's not to stigmatize the person.
What do you do to help your own mental health?
Self-care. I had a therapist once tell me that it is my ethical responsibility as a therapist to practice self-care. And I share that with all my clients. I believe it's all of our ethical responsibility to practice self-care, which I believe is best done through being present, giving ourselves mental rest, and experiencing joyful and pleasurable moments.
So, what motivates you?
Oh gosh, just seeing people succeed, seeing people find that inner strength and surpass their hurdles and experience joy and pleasure. When a client can come back and tell me they found 5 golden nuggets, as I call them, in their day, and they weren't focused on negative symptoms, that's a win for me.
What are 5 golden nuggets?
So a golden nugget to me is just a beautiful moment. Right? My last golden nugget was stopping at Starbucks and seeing 6 dogs get pup cups in front of me, right? So I try to find 5 a day, and it's a nice way to keep my brain focused on the joyful, positive experiences rather than the stress of life. That's going to be a given.
What would you say to anyone going through a tough time?
You're not alone. You're not alone. We're all here together to survive, and we all have different tools and strengths, and there's always someone here to listen. And that's one of the things I like about ThriveWorks is the access to services is quick. And we make sure that you have somebody to talk to, whether it's in person or on Zoom, because we are stronger than we realize. And so just being able to talk to someone and draw on our strengths helps us remind us that we have what we need to get through.
And you have been a therapist for, over 25 years.
I've been a social worker, yes, for over 25 years. And I've done therapy in my various facets, but I've been doing private therapy just for this last year.
So with that, have you seen any changes since you first started?
In therapy?
Yes.
Oh, yes, absolutely. I believe it's more accessible now. I believe there's a lot more awareness out there. We have a wealth more of tools. When I was first graduating, it was cognitive behavioral therapy kind of was it. And now we have all these other tools like somatic therapy, solution-focused therapy that we're working with to help clients. But also in a negative way, I've seen a big decline in our mental health as a systemic culture, but as individuals as well.
So where do you want to see your mental health mission, say, in the next 3 to 5 years?
I want to continue to grow my practice and grow my own development of therapeutic interventions, get more certifications. I would like to see more therapists come on board and provide, I'd like to see some more access to therapeutic services in the schools.
How can people reach out to you and learn more?
So you can call ThriveWorks. You can email me at ThriveWorks, and we are always happy to help and serve.